Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today let's fly our all-time favorite Embraer 175 once again. We're standing in Brussels. It's going to be a short hop over to Amsterdam, which is going to be like a 30-minute flight, and ever since our last video on the Embraer there has been several more updates released to it, so let's have a look into how it's going to perform. Now, I'm not going to go over the changelog of all of these updates because there are so many things that they need to fix in this airplane that the changelogs are getting so huge that it wouldn't make a lot of sense to just go over the changelog, otherwise we'd be reading changelogs for about an hour or so. Much rather, we just hop into the airplane and we are going to do a complete flight. So, follow me into the cockpit of the 175, and here we are. So this is the version we're using to recording this, 0.9.19, build 5346. Now that we've just about read that, let's get rid of that little sticker down there. Alright, so in the electronic flight bag there's a couple of new features in there. For example, we can now control the ground power unit that we saw in front of the plane there, and we can also control the jetway. Now, quick look over here, we should have our ground power unit parked just in front of the plane. You can see it standing over there. Okay, so also a couple of new features here, like we've got engine coverings in place and pitot covers in place and so on. I'm kind of tempted to try out if those are just visual models or if they actually have any effect on the airplane, but well, let's be fair over here, let's not do that. Okay then, going right back inside, let's go ahead and close that window. Like here. Alright, window is closed. So, some new stuff as well. Over here we've now got a flight schedule, which we can use to import SimBrief flight plans, which we can view on the tablet. So, let's go ahead and do that. That's our latest SimBrief plan. Thank you very much. And here it is. We're a little bit delayed, but hey, we are flying just realistically, are we? Right, so let's go ahead and start on the page just over here, and that is what we'll use for our FMS setup later on. The weight and balance we still need to do through the simulator's own weight and balance menu. They haven't got around to providing us with a custom page yet, so we'll just have to make our life easy over here. Going into the departure page, let's see what we've got over here. That's 4.4 tons of passengers, basically 80 passengers on board, giving us a payload weight of 3,992. I wonder what I'm supposed to do with the payload weight though. I mean, we need zero fuel weight. Well, and we've also got the fuel in here. 2,400 kilos is what we're supposed to have. You'll take a tiny bit more, like that, 2,600, just to have a little bit of extra there. Okay, so that is that stuff. Do we have zero fuel weight anywhere over here? Doesn't really look like it, huh? No, we don't. Okay. Maybe in the ground menu? No. Well, down here, that's where we've got our zero fuel weight. So 28.3 it is, leading us to 31 tons of takeoff weight, which matches roughly with the fuel that we've uploaded. So I'd say our weight is currently rather okay. It's almost in the region of where we're supposed to be. Alright, cool. So that's this stuff. So let's go ahead and actually turn our airplane on now. So following the procedure guide from the developer's website that you can find online. Okay, cool. So for the power up, it's gonna be the batteries on. GPU is avail and pushed in. APU on, then start. There we go, had to click it like 3 times, but eventually it went into the start position. Okay, nav light is on. Logo light as needed, emergency lights armed. And that is the entire power-up flow according to the developer. Missing the pre-flight stuff though, but so be it. Okay, well, what we can do then is we can have a quick look into the displays. That attitude fail message is new if I'm not totally mistaken, so looks like there is something that's configuring itself now, which is quite nice. Means that they are slowly adding stuff going on in the background which is always good to see. Also, those sounds seem to have improved quite a bit. We got air conditioning sound now. I don't think we had that on our previous Embraer flights, so they did indeed do a little bit of work there. Alright, let's go over the safety and power-up checklist. Flight deck checked, whatever that means. Emergency equipment check, maintenance status check, GPU out, APU generator in. Well, that is the opposite way already. We are still using that ground power unit. Batteries are on, fuel pumps. They're located over here, set to auto. Emergency lights on, windshield wipers are armed, windshield wipers off. Hydraulic pumps, except 3A, are all auto. And elect pump 3A is off. Landing gear lever down, power plant, set a stop. Okay, speed brake lever closed, thrust levers idle. Slat and flap lever agrees with the surface position, so this is up and this is up as well. Okay, fire extinguisher panel checked, electrical power and air conditioning established, and that is the safety and power up check is complete. Okay, cool. So let's have a look into our SimBrief flight details over here. From from Brussels to Amsterdam Schiphol. We're going to start on the route page with a new feature there, which is the ability to import a flight plan. And that is what we're going to do. Let's go to the route page over here. Well, that origin is incorrect. It should be filled automatically, but looks like it picked an incorrect ICAO code. We're at Brussels, Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo, and going to Amsterdam, Echo Hotel Alpha Mike. And our flight number is going to be KLM 1722. And with all of that entered, we can now send a flight plan request, and that should connect the aircraft with the SimBrief flight plan. So if you now go into Datalink flight plan, here it is, apply active, and that should import our SimBrief flight plan now. Okay, so let's have a quick look. Next page, via Halen to Amsterdam, that's the entire flight plan indeed. Okay, departure, runway, and we are going to pick runway 25 right for that departure. Halen 3 Golf, apply, and then for the arrival, it's going to be a runway 18 right over in Amsterdam for an ILS approach. And over here we go on a star, Helen 2 Alpha. And where can we ILS? Alright, that's it for the river transition. Alright, apply that. Let's look into what we got now. A couple of directs towards the river and then river for the ILS. Yeah, suppose that's about it. Even though this should obviously be listed as the Helen 2 Alpha arrival that we have just chosen. But anyway, so be it, I suppose. That is already better than what we had on the previous version. Alright, cool. So if we look into the flight plan, well, we're going to check that in a few moments. So let's go performance in it at first. Takeoff and landing fuel. So it's going to be 2,500. We'll make that 2,450 and takeoff fuel. And the landing fuel, let's see, where's our fuel burn? Surely that has to be somewhere in the flight plan. Oh, no, you can... How can I get that EFB back? Like that, okay. Departure page, do we have landing fuel anywhere? Suppose we don't, huh? No. Okay. Well, in that case, we just gotta guesstimate our fuel burn, so I'd say we're gonna be less than 1,000, so make the landing fuel of, I don't know, give me 1,800 kilograms. Okay then, next page. Over here are our zero fuel weight. And can we just import that? No, we can't, okay. And, well, we'll start on top. Cruising level 140, wind is calm, CG is okay. Zero fuel weight. Sure enough, we have that somewhere down here. 28.3. Here we go, gross weight, looks good. Then, next page, can't change anything over there, so we just gotta leave that as it is. Okay, so, then let's go performance and takeoff. So, wind is calm at the moment. The temperature is 9 degrees, runway is dry. Why can I not enter my wind? Does it have to be 36080? Oh boy, okay. Well, so be it. Okay, next page. That stuff is looking good. Let's go into the takeoff page over here. So, flaps 2, and that is checked. Well, somewhere we should be able to set our thrust limits for the takeoff. Onto the TRS page, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go takeoff data set. Yeah, that looks about like it. Look at that, we can actually change some of the numbers now. That's new. And there should be a possibility on the takeoff page over here. We do that, 25 right, condition dry, flaps 2, and for that, if we just take 25 right, condition dry, flaps 1. Just about import that data over here. Let's hit calculate. Did it just import that stuff automatically now? We just hit enter, what's gonna happen? Say flex takeoff yes. It should have calculated some takeoff data for me now, if I'm not mistaken. But where is that? Oh, manifest. Okay. That's better. That's better. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so acceleration 1000, all that stuff looks good. Well, tell you what, let's go send to MCDU. And now, all of that stuff should basically be programmed by our virtual first officer. So let's watch him do that. Well, that was an interesting landing fuel that he just programmed. Well, that was interesting. Our first officer actually did a little bit of work. So that's surely a new feature that they've included down there. Nice to see stuff like that. Okay, cool. So that much about our departure preparations down there. I suppose in the meantime, we should have the APU running by now. So let's get rid of the ground power unit. And then let's just go for GSX and get our pushback. And the jetway can be disconnected as well. Here we go. Okay, good. Then let's also remove all of that stuff. Just the wheel chocks. Let's quickly check. Okay, parking brake is set. Alright, and the ground power unit can be removed as well. We are running on the APU. Okay, cool. So I do believe we should be pretty much ready with everything now. So let's just go back to the takeoff page in here. That's what we want over here, and the other side is going to get the flight plan page. So the two are separated now. Not sure if we had that in the last video already, but that is good to see. It's still the standard LNAV and the standard routing though, as you can see looking at that user waypoint that wouldn't exist in real world. Let's have a quick look at the chart by the way. Okay, Navigraph, authenticate that. And then I'm gonna scan that QR code. When you scan that QR code, you still gotta enter the code manually. It's not able to do that automatically. Even the PMDG can do that. Whatever that means, my friends. Alright, anyway, Navigraph account is now linked to this. So, give me my departure airport, please. Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo. Brussels. Loading that up. So, taxi chart. Can we scroll down somehow? Is that just stuck up there? Well, I'd like to have my taxi chart though. But we can't scroll down, it seems, so we're stuck with this. Okay, well, so be it. Quick look at our SID if we can. So, Halen. 6 Lima, 3 Tango, no. Again, if we could just... we can drag and... Okay, perfect, so we can move it. Then I gotta take back what I just said earlier. We can move that chart around. Okay, Halen 3 Golf, here it is. If only we could pin that somehow, that would be handy. I suppose we can just open another tab and use the other charts in here. Okay, so dragging and that works. Alright, so parking up here, pushback on a Romeo 4, taxi straight out onto the inner or the outer, probably the outer, and then we'll go for a full-length departure. Our SID is on here, the Halen 3 Golf departure, straight at 700, right-hand turn, intercept 305, and Bravo Romeo 255. Let's see, yeah, here 306 to Bravo Romeo 255, suppose that's alright. Let's have a look at the map, what that looks like. Yeah, that's gotta do. That's gotta do. So let's see, map option. Nav aids, airport, waypoint island, progress, vertical profile, that's what we want. And the T-cars and the terrain. No, not the terrain, they still have the default database in there. We don't want that. Okay, cool. So, doors are closed. Altimeter setting. 1019, very good. Why is that saying standard? Oh, that's interesting. Looks like it reads standard when you rotate it to 1013. That's not exactly how these things should work, but I suppose it's better than nothing. Okay, 1019 set on each side. And with that we should be about ready to go. Let's see what GSX is doing. Continue pushback. Nose right, thanks. Okay. So, I do believe we are pretty much done with what we needed to do now. So, APU bleed valve open, steering off, that's both expected, so that is alright. Okay, cool, then before start checklist down to the line. Pre-flight checks complete, fuel quantity checked, MCDU set, crew oxygen. Is that mask operable in here? No, it's not. Okay. The crew oxygen assumed checked, altimeter 1019 reading 110 cross-checked, flight instruments checked, passenger signs are on, and the takeoff briefing complete before start checklist completed down to the line. Alright, so we are clear on both sides. Hey, where's my chart gun? Hello? Interesting, the chart just about vanished. Well, okay. We're just... ain't gonna touch it. Ain't gonna touch it. Okay, cool. Then, I suppose we're now getting ready. So, before start checklist... below the line. Seatbelt shoulder harness checked, takeoff performance set, auto brake, RTO, trim set centered. Okay, doors, windows closed, beacon on, transponder. Oh yeah, we just gotta get transponding here. So code 2000, and then just flick it on in here. The other modes are still not available, so that's gotta do. Okay, cool. So transponder is transponding, and the parking brake can be released, and with that we will start the pushback now. Looking good, we are on the way. So what do we have down here? Little note. Dear fellow pilots, thank you for supporting us in this early access. It's made with hard sweat and a lot of coffee. It may not be complete yet, but we're constantly working on it. Please carefully follow our procedure guide for a smooth experience. Yeah, well, that's thank you. Gotta put that away. Okay, so we should be about good for engine start. Let's go ahead, and we're starting sequence 1 then 2. Run and start. So the air conditioning sound went off. You see something of that? The bleep logic? Yes, we can. Okay, pushback seems complete. Brake is set. Okay, that looks like good start number 1. Let's go ahead and start number 2. Let's see that from the outside. Oh, my poor GSX. Is it me or is that engine running up really slowly there? Come on, engine, you can do more. Okay, here we go. So that was at about 14% N1. I suppose that's something on the animation that can still be adjusted to the actual RPMs. But okay, we've got 2 good starts. Clear disconnect, clear sign on the left with a pin, and there he is already. Very good. So, flaps set for 2, APU going off, hydraulic 3A pump on, flight controls. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, and the rudder, full left, full right, neutral. So just something I noticed while doing the flight control track. Look at that, speed brake lever disagree. Well, I wouldn't quite expect that. Obviously, there are some spoilers extended now, and the speed brake lever is up, but I mean, that's the roll spoilers. That is like supposed to be like that. I don't think that should actually trigger a message, but hey, let's send Ethan a message and ask him. Okay, cool. Then taxi nose lights on. And with that, the after start procedures are complete. Clear left side, clear right side, brake released. We're at a very light weight, so according to what I remember from my live stream with Ethan, the plane should be taxiing on its own. But this one still isn't. Well, let's give it a bit of power then. And look at that, all of a sudden it's taxiing. Okay, something else that I noticed just now is the speed target has actually increased automatically here to 165 knots. I do believe that's new. Though I'm not exactly sure where the 165 comes from, but I suppose anything's better than nothing, huh? And we still can't change that to FMS. Okay. Well, so be it. We can live with that. Ultimately, if we're getting to target even in small steps, it's still better than not getting to target at all. Okay, so straight ahead, and we're going onto the outer taxiway. Straight ahead onto the outer. Okay, clear left side, clear right side. Okay, that was Mike. Now comes inner. Crossing that. And next is outer. We're getting quite fast here. Okay, here we go. That's outer. Give it a little bit more thrust, start accelerating again. And in the meantime we can do our takeoff review. It's gonna be a left seat takeoff, runway 25 right, flaps 2, noise abatement procedure is gonna be, well, 2. And in terms of takeoff speeds, we have down here 133, 137, 139. I believe that's new as well. I don't think I saw those speeds on here in earlier versions. Climbing initially to 6,000 feet, or rather to flight level 60, I should say, which is set now. And that's about all there is for it, really. In case of emergencies, straight ahead, and let's see what the MSA is. Shouldn't be too high, I believe. Yeah, 2,200, so 3,000 is gonna keep us safe. The sit itself, straight ahead, 700 feet, right-hand turn, and then on 305 in Mount Bravo, Romeo 255. Any questions? Probably no questions. Okay, before takeoff procedure. Cabin secured, takeoff data reviewed, ICAS checked, brake temperatures are looking good. Oh, that's the oil. Okay. Taxiing and checking at the same time isn't quite that easy, I have to say. Alright, anyway, brake temperatures are, they gotta be good. It's first flight of the day. So, takeoff config.
Takeoff okay.
Is checked. And then we can turn the lights on and that's it. Okay. And with that, the B4 takeoff checklist is complete. Okay, we are good to go. Then, takeoff. So, takeoff and auto thrust is on. We can also put nav on. Oh, and we gotta press toga. My apologies, I forgot that. Alright, that looks better. Roll. And toga is armed. Why is the thing rotating on its own? Don't do that. Stay down. Now we can rotate. Okay, positive climb. Gear up. On-off captured. Okay, level change. Autopilot on. Let's see how the autopilot is performing these days. Okay, let's start accelerating, and we're looking for a speed of 250 knots straight away. What's interesting now, you have the ability to just hold your mouse on the speed window up there, and that also gives us the speed bug. Okay, flaps 1 and flaps 0. So look at that, like that you can manipulate the speed as well now. That's quite handy, I have to say. That's quite handy up there. Same thing for changing range on the navigation display. You hold the mouse on top of that and it changes the range. That's quite handy. Auto brake also went back to off automatically when the gear was retracted. That's good. So after takeoff checklist, landing gear up, APU, here it is, off, and slats and flaps up. After takeoff checklist complete. Okay, so where's the transition altitude? 4,500. So we're almost there. Indeed, here we are, set standard. Standard cross-check, passing flight level 49 now. Checked. Okay, that's 1,000 to go. But let's continue the climb. Looking at level 140 for the cruise. Might have to put it back in a level change. But look at that. I could put it... After it went into altitude capture, I could put it back in a level change. And that is working now. So that's quite good. Remember how on the very first live stream even that didn't work. So there is progress visible over here. Also, just about having a look down here on the progress window when talking about the word. Amsterdam, 81 miles, 31 minutes. That looks about right, even though the estimated time en route is probably not correct. Because we should only be flying for 30 minutes total. We're in the air for a bit now. But, tell you honestly, if that's the biggest problem with the plane, then we have come quite a way then. Let's put it that way. Also climbing nicely, 2,400 feet a minute over here. And do note, it is in climb 2 limit up there. Let's see if we can actually play around with that. If we just about go to max continuous, let's see how much more we are going to get. That's new as well. We weren't able to do that previously. 4,600, lovely. That's cool. Let's play a little bit with it. Go back to auto, let's do climb 1. See what we're gonna get then. 82.6%. Like that. That's like 2,200, 2,400-ish. Okay, let's go back climb 2. Start accelerating. We're looking for some 290 knots or so. Here we go. 290. And we're passing 10,000, so that's going to be the landing lights off and seatbelts off, and we're no longer in sterile cockpit as well. Okay, cool. So with that, we are now en route. Not that it would be a very long flight, though. Have a look over here. Let's close that tab, close that tab. Oh, what happened now? Okay. So, Amsterdam. And we're coming in from Halen. Here it is, Halen 2 Alpha arrival. That's river between 70 and 100. Halen below level 240. Well, we'll be below that anyway. Okay, new tap again to Amsterdam. For an approach, and it's going to be an ILS onto the Polderbaan. So let's take that night transition chart, then we're going to open another new tab, again Amsterdam, and this time we're looking for 18 right ILS chart. And finally we need another Amsterdam, this time with a taxi chart, and then we should be prepared for our approach. Here you go. Okay, perfect. That should be all we need. Would be nice if they had different names on the tabs up here, but I suppose seeing where we have come from the original point, there is enough progress over here that we're not going to complain about stuff like that. Reaching about 1,000 to go. Vertical speed. Where is it going to? You're supposed to be on 1600 upwards, my friend. Yeah, that's an interesting bug there. You hit the vertical speed button, it resorts to vertical speed 0, even though it does show you on the primary flight display the target that you had at the time when you 1000 goes checked. It shows you the actual vertical speed at the time of engagement, but internally it still goes back to 0, so suppose they gotta do something about that. But at least it shows us that there is some work in progress going on, which is quite some positive news for us as well. So certainly not gonna complain about progress. Okay, very cool. So let's just monitor the level off at 14,000 there. Alt sellers engaged. Alt. That's rather early, I have to say. It's still approaching the target altitude very slowly. But hey, at least it's doing it. We gotta see the positives of this one. Okay, we're about leveled off. Cool. So, let's go ahead now with a bit of the approach preparation. ILS 18 right, 110.1 and 182. 110.1 and 110. Oopsie, something missing here. 10.1. Okay, that's that. The courses, I suppose, we are going to do later on. And the minimum is going to be 187 feet. So let's also dial that in. So minimums. Barrow. And 187 is going to become 190 since this only works in steps of 10s. Like that. Good. Okay, so that is most of our approach setup done already. What I'll just do for a second here, I'll just go in a heading. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It always presses the button up there when the mode is changed to a different one. Probably deselects it first, like that, and then selects it second internally. Well, interesting. Interesting. I suppose we'll just leave it like that and accept that it's doing that for the moment. Alright, in any case, what we can do is auto brake. We're going to use low. And what else are we going to do? Well, I wanted to set my courses. Okay, so heading. So VL, and we're looking at an inbound course of 182. Let's try that on VOR1 as well. Okay, here we go. That's 1 and 2 set each side. Back to FMS navigation and back in a nav mode. LNAV. Okay, cool. So that's that. It might be me, but my frame rates are just about dropping quite a bit here. Well, let's just hope it's only something temporary and not a memory leak or something the likes. Okay, cool. So we should be fully prepared for the approach now, so let's think about a little bit of VNAV. The plane still doesn't have VNAV implemented at all. No sort of VNAV guidance yet, but we can make up a little bit of stuff on our own. So if we have a look into the approach charts, starting up here, then this one says cross river at 10,000. But if we have a look at the night transition for the approach, now I know it's not night, but I looked at a couple of flights on Flight Radar. You could see that over here it was river between 100 and 140, and indeed I saw a lot of Embraers on this particular route remaining at 140 for a little bit longer. So what I suggest we do is we go direct Alpha Mike 627, and then we plan to reach level 100 over there. Well, let's see if we can even do direct to any such waypoint at the moment. Well, provided we have the correct route. I don't think we have. No, that's not the correct transition. Let's see if we can change that without breaking everything. No, I don't think we can. But perhaps. Gotta be able to do it somehow. Nav, arrival. Now, let's not take a river over there, but let's... a runway. 18 right, ILS. Gonna take river 1 delta then. On the hill into alpha, apply. And now go to flight plan. I'm at a river right now, and then Porval 627. Perfect. Okay, let's take 627, go direct there. Invalid action, arrival. Why is that? Can we still not change our waypoints here? Like, there's a double river right now. Can we get that out? 627 after river? Nope, still doesn't let us do that. Okay, that is unfortunate. Okay, so be it. Also, we cannot insert any restrictions manually. Well, that's a pity. That means we gotta fly either the full arrival, or we just radar vector ourselves, but I suppose that means we gotta fly the full arrival today. And always. You know what that means. Okay. That's really something they gotta fix before we can call the airplane VATSIM capable. It can't be that you're forced to fly the full arrival or go radar vectors. The plane has to be able to do that. So, towards the end of the video, when we're talking about if the plane is VATSIM capable by now, 9 months after its release, then the answer is still going to be no, because we need to be able to go direct to waypoints on the approach. It's a very basic thing that air traffic controllers do with you. We need to be able to do that. Okay, well, in any case, we still got to do our VNAV manually, so 627 at level 100 is what we're aiming for. That means we got to descend 4,000 feet, so 12 nautical miles. We also got to reduce speed at 250 at 627, so that means losing 40 knots, again 4 miles added, so we're at 16 miles from 627, where we got to start our descent, so that's in 4 miles. So let's set that altitude down already. Here you go, 100 is in. Okay, 19 miles out. Tell you what, I'll just go level change now. Let's see how that's gonna work. Starting the descent. Fasten seatbelts are going on. Man, that's quite a rate. Wonder if that's accurate. 3,500 feet a minute, rate of descent. Don't think that is accurate. Okay, so descent checklist. Lights and seatbelt signs. We'll set altimeter, set landing data reviewed, auto brake, low, seatbelts and shoulder harness checked, approach briefing complete, descent checklist completed. Okay, that is definitely too much drag. 3,500 feet a minute at that altitude and that speed. No way the plane could do that. There is just really no way it could do that. Without speed brakes, that is, huh? If you have a look down here, speed brakes have been retracted the entire time. Okay, well, so be it. Interesting as well that it went on alt select now, but look at that, now it's doing 1,000 feet a minute to approach the target altitude. That's a little bit basic, like, normally the plane should keep its rate of descent until it performs one continuous smooth level out. It shouldn't go into maintaining a certain vertical speed. Again, imagine the VATSIM scenario here. If that happens to you in VATSIM, and the controller tells you to expedite until you reach your target altitude, and the plane all of a sudden changes to 1,000 feet a minute, that's not supposed to happen. But, doesn't matter. Here we go. Now we're reaching 10,000. 7 miles to run. I'll tell you what, we're just going to start reducing our speed over here. Give me 250 knots. I want to see how good the plane is going to decelerate. Interesting. Speed limit. Why is that? Yeah, now it's back to speed target. Yeah, it also decelerates quite quickly. I don't know, maybe they just need to increase the idle thrust, or I don't know. That's something the developers need to know, not me. But I have to say, I like the idea that you can change a lot of things just right on the PFD over here. Look at that. That's quite cool. Can we also switch? Yeah, we can. Even though for some reason it only changes the values after the decimal, but, well, nonetheless, nice to see that they got a couple of interesting ideas here of what you can do. Also here, look at the minimum, or the altimeter setting. Anything you can hold your mouse onto, over here, you can actually change, like altitude, speed, heading. That's a neat idea. That's a really neat idea, I have to say. Okay then, well, let's go on. Down to 3,000 please, and we'll do that a level change. Let's see what kind of drag it has now. And since we're now cleared to an altitude, set altimeter 1019. Okay, 1019 cross check passing 9,300 now. Checked. Why is my chart gone again? Hear that once more, please. Okay, NETOM, flight level 70, max 250 knots. So, looks like we'll be meeting that. 2,000 feet a minute now, that's still a rather high rate of descent. But that is like more imaginable now. Certainly more than the 3,500 we had just going 40 knots faster. I mean, imagine that, 40 knots more and you're getting sufficient drag to get an additional 1,500 feet a minute rate of descent. That is a lot. A lot of drag, I mean. Okay, I tell you what, let's do heading sync, heading select, and then we'll just go on to a heading of, call it 060. Start starting to vector ourselves onto that final. And then we can also go onto the localizer mode over here. Start receiving the ILS. Descend 2000. And we are below 10,000, so landing lights on, and the sterile cockpit sign is coming on as well. Looking good. Might have to expedite the descent a little. Let's pull that speed brake. Come on, thrust levers, you stay in idle. Okay, speed brake's out. 2,200. Well, seeing that idle descent was 2,000, feels like the speed brakes are shaking the plane, but not doing anything else. Like, what if we stow those again? Now I'm pulling them again. See any difference in flight model? Not really, huh? That's strange. Normally I would definitely expect some results there of those speed brakes. Okay, speed back 180. And then we'll turn final in about 6 miles. Okay, flaps 1. So, ILS Iden, Victor Papa Bravo, and that's what we're receiving. Okay then, let's turn final. Okay, approaching the glide slope needle. Okay, heading 150, on an intercept heading, approach mode armed. Vertical speed. Do something like 500 feet a minute. Localizer alive. Or not. Because I've sworn it was alive. It's inside the maximum deflection already. Okay, on the glide slope now. So 1,000 feet a minute should do. Flaps 2. Okay, now the localizer should really come any moment. We're about on the center line. Okay, localizer alive. Localizer capture. Then we are about on the glide slope. But it went into altitude select. Here we go. Glide slope capture. Okay, gear down. Flaps 3. Flaps 4. Where are you? You name it. Call it flaps 4. And down to the green dot. Again getting a speed limit flag, but I suppose that's alright. Okay then, before landing checklist. Flight attendants notified, landing gear down 3 green, flaps full set, landing lights on, before landing checklist complete. Alright, cool.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
So, autopilot, auto throttle off. And tell you what... can't turn the flight director off entirely, it seems. But that's fine. We'll just hand flight a little bit. Okay, that's a runway in front there. Poppy is inside. Checked. So we're doing about 130 knots ground speed, so we need roughly 700 feet a minute rate of descent. So pretty much everything is perfect right now. Except for my localizer tracking, that is. Okay, that looks better. The speed target 127. Let's just keep it there.
500.
Okay, 500, continue.
400. 300. Approaching minimums.
Checked.
200. Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay, we're down. So, reverse green. Okay, manual brakes. Man, those reverses are strong. Okay, let's put the reverse off. We'll just let it roll towards the exit now. There's nobody behind us, but we are just going to vacate right at the first exit over here. Interesting, we're getting speed brake lever. Well, we just got a speed brake lever disagree warning there. Not 100% sure what's caused that, but it kind of happened when I used a little bit of rudder input. Well, anyway, 29 knots. Let's turn onto the parallel taxiway here. That's a very gentle turn. I'm not going to slow down the plane too much for that. Here we go. Cool, so after landing. Strobe light off. Landing lights off. Flaps up. Trim gonna set 4 units up. Okay, that's 4 units up down there now. And APU start, we're going to delay that a little bit until we're a little closer to the terminal, because it's going to be a little bit of a ride now around Amsterdam Airport. That's about maximum tiller deflection. That's all we're getting at this speed. Alright, so straight ahead, then left, then right, and then we'll be on a long way straight ahead. And then we can think about doing a single engine taxi one more time. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll just give single engine taxi a try. Either it works or it doesn't. If it doesn't, we're just going to restart the remaining engine. Because this is exactly the kind of route that single engine taxi is made for. You know, we've pretty much reached our 3 minutes cooling time by now. So from here on, it's really just a waste of fuel if we just kept both engines running, really. So we're going to shut down engine number 2 in a few moments. Once we're actually on the straight taxiway here. And here we are. Okay, so for that, let's go ahead and start the APU. Look at that. It needs like several inputs before the APU switch actually goes into the correct position. Still accelerating in idle thrust now. You can see engines in idle, slowly gaining speed all the time. Slowly but steadily. Okay, APU is showing 100%. Then let's do engine number 2, stop. So let's see how it's going to perform in single engine. We remember our live stream with Ethai, the real Embraer captain, and he told us that the airplane would be going perfectly fine on single engine taxi. So that is what we're looking for. Right now, 26 knots, and the plane is indeed doing fine. So, in Whiskey 5, crossing 18 center. That's over here. I am taking the turn rather fast, but look at the taxiway. It's not really a very narrow taxiway as well. And it's not a tight turn, so we can do that a little bit faster than usual. Well, that's interesting. Cut a steering off message over there. Well, that would not be good. Not sure if bug or feature. I do have to say it's been a little while since we did that live stream, so I'm not 100% sure if I shut down the correct engine, but I believe I did. In any case, my nose wheel steering still seems to be working, even though it says steer off over there. But yeah, look at that. Can easily do a right-hand turn here. Let's add a bit of power. 40%. Okay. So let's keep it accelerating. We go all the way straight and then down south via Quebec. So if we have a look at the airport chart over here, we're going southbound on here on Delta, and then eventually we're going to go via Bravo or via Alpha on the Quebec, and then we are basically parking straight down here. So that is what we're aiming for. Typical Amsterdam taxi. You do a 25 or a 30-minute flight, and then you do another 20-minute taxi. But let's be honest over here, I wouldn't have landed on the Polderbahn offline if I didn't want to do that taxi. Basically, I really want to show the single-engine taxi in action over here. As you can see, the engine is roughly 40% N1. Let's try to put it exactly at 40. Like that. And the thing is slightly accelerating still. A little hard to read the ground speed down there, but it's 20 knots now. And yeah, that is pretty much what I'd expected how it should work. So that's looking quite okay. It does take quite a long while to accelerate in single engine taxi. It's been like that on the 737, it's been like that on the A330. But overall I'd say, yeah, that looks about right to me. Obviously, I'm saying that without having flown an actual Embraer. So, 26 knots ground speed. Let's go engine back to idle. And then we're gonna take the first left over here. Actually, is it the first? No, it's the second to the left onto the bridge. The first would lead us somewhere to an apron down here. That's not where we want to go. So second to the left. That is Alpha 25. Again, not the way to go. That one's where we want to go. Quebec. So turn is a little narrow here. Let's take it anyway. And then we'll be going uphill in a moment, so let's add some power. Here we go. That uphill part is obviously going to be the most interesting of the single engine taxi now, but I do believe it should be fine. Our engine is up at 40%, and here we go. Oh, what's that? That's not supposed to be there, is it? Oh, let's slightly go to the side. Ooh. Come on. Here we go. What's that looking from the outside? Oh boy. Oopsie. Okay, let's see if we can get free without,
No takeoff. Flat.
Yeah, we don't intend to take off. Oh well, lovely. Lovely. Alright, we should have taken the other taxiway. I knew the other one worked, I didn't know about that one. Tell you what though, let's see if we can just restart that engine and then just power ourselves out of this. Maybe that is gonna work. Interesting, look at that. Now all the obstacles are basically gone. Just want to try that one more time. Let's add a bit more power. Yeah, look at that. Now it works. Now we can taxi. Interesting. Okay, we're rolling. So shutting down number 2 again. Well, that was a little unnecessary, that scenery bug. Really don't know what caused it either, but yeah, so be it. I am rather sure my Amsterdam is up to date, so that should not have happened. Alright, going downhill, we don't need that thrust anymore, so we can pull it off. And here we go. Okay, officially we should be taking the second taxiway to the left, bravo. But I am going to cut that short and I am going to take Alpha over here because it is such a short way onto the terminal now. They do that in real life as well. If there is no oncoming traffic, and most traffic is taxiing runway 24 right now for departures, so there won't be anybody oncoming right now. So for that reason we can take the shortcut over here via Alpha, and we don't have to go out on Bravo, even though according to the standard taxiway system that would be the way to go. Okay, max wingspan 69 meters, not a problem with the Embraer. Okay, so next to the left, and then we have pretty much arrived at our parking gate. And here we go. Max wingspan 29. Yep, the Embraer can still do that. Even though all of a sudden it starts to look like, yeah, that's the kind of size of an apron that our aircraft is built for. Okay, and then it's gonna be the second stand on our right hand side. Let's see if we're gonna clip that wing on the light pole. I don't think we will, but nonetheless, let's see. Okay, taxi light going off. Thrust idle, and here we go. So we'll taxi all the way forward to the stop bar. Should be fine with the wing. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, here we go. Parking brake is set, then let's go ahead with a shutdown. So, transponder, standby, shocks and brakes set, engines off, hydraulic pump 3A off, and that's the shutdown checklist completed. So engine is running down, 20% N2, and we can do the beacon light off. Signs off, and that's it. Welcome to Amsterdam, everyone. I do hope you enjoyed this one, and just to be precise, we would not have flipped the wing over here. Could have taxied a little bit further forward though, but I suppose that is going to be fine. Man, my parking today is not excellent. Not exactly excellent. In any case, guys, I do hope that you enjoyed this one. If you did, do let me know in the comments below. So we'll just head inside and we are going to get ourselves a ground power unit over here. We'll also take the cones in place and the chocks in place so that we can release our parking brake with the ground power unit available. Let's... where's that gone? Oh, that's interesting. Looks like we need the parking brake in place so that we can actually put ground equipment on. That's interesting. I mean, technically speaking, the entire reason for chocks would be to make the use of the parking brake unnecessary, but I suppose either way is going to work out fine. So, that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do let me know in the comments below. I have to say that this is the first update where I actually feel like there's really something happened under the hood of that Embraer. They still got the majority of their work ahead of themselves, with the FMS still not having a custom LNAV or a custom FMS. So that's like one of the most important and certainly one of the most complex things that they still have upcoming on the Embraers. But we can certainly see some progress. We can see some stuff went into the performance. So when we revisit this one in a couple of months, I am rather positive that we might be in for a positive surprise. Well, anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. If you own the Embraer, do let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you don't own the Embraer, well, it may be a little bit more time to hold off it until we get some of the advanced features, like, for example... Oh, what's that? Here we go. That's the ground power unit. Okay, so it might be a little bit longer until we get some of the advanced stuff like custom LNAV, and that really is necessary. As I said on the approach right now, I don't yet deem it VATSIM capable because it's still unable to do VNAV or unable to do directs onto the approach. But once that kind of stuff is done, I'm slowly getting to a point where I'd say, like, yeah, this starts getting a good airplane. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. As always, leave a like in the YouTube algorithms as well, as it does help out the channel quite a bit, and comment to let me know what you think about it. Don't forget to subscribe for more upcoming videos, and that's going to be me signing off now. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.